To Sims and Demon for all the action, we're going to Erangel.
Thank you very much, guys, and here we go. I think what James was roundabout trying to say is match 31, week 2 of phase 1 throughout the PEL season. It's a long way to go. But here we go. It's a pretty rough plane. I think the likes of FaZe Clan, TSM, Knights, NIP are obviously going to go Georgia Pol, even to an extent, I would say G2, all got problems at the moment trying to get to this western side of the map.
For a few, it'll be easy to at least get the boots on the ground, get the vehicles. This plane causes not necessarily a problem of finding home turf, but more importantly, being late to home turf. So gearing up when everyone else, like for instance, Raise Your Edge, they're already down. They're going to get the feet in Primorsk, going to easily be able to get geared out of their mind. For a few others, they're going to have a bit of a trip on their hands. They're going to have to get the vehicles, and that also can cause problems when, if you're going to be arguing teams, for example, you know, I mean, well, so NIP have thankfully, I mean, you would expect them to go to their normal position, so Lipovka in that area will be open at least. There'll be no kind of early scuffle, so to speak, trying to get these vehicles off the ground.
FaZe have gone further north, and this is like a historical thing, right? The amount of times that FaZe used to drop down here and have and lose battles with the Knights, with G2, in just trying to get a vehicle. So they just started to go further and further north, and now they're actually dropping down. There is a decent amount of vehicles where they're dropping, so they're going to grab them and go straight over. We'll see whether they actually go, you know, sending on to Lipovka like they did yesterday, remember? Nice
circle as well, so it's pretty much in the middle of the flight path. It'll help a few people out. This now comes into the point of where you're looking towards Mexi or Fuzzface amongst that FaZe roster, and we are touching on that FaZe roster because, you know, they've had difficulties.
We're at the halfway point, and they're nowhere near the top.
No, it's not what we expected to be seeing more.
Yeah, everybody predicted
we know what
FaZe
they're more
the
than capable of. This flight path will be the hardest one to them. So when you're in this position now, they're going to be speaking to another, okay, where do we go? Do we make an adjustment? Do we stick to his guns and go to his usual home turf? Or there is an adjustment that can be made here. Could we maybe loot around Pleasant or Lumber Mill or Shelter and pick up guns and get back to the circle in quick time? Because everyone else, bar ENCE and Raise Your Edge, is actually already inside the circle.
Yeah, I was just thinking, here's a cheeky suggestion. Do they maybe get into one of those compounds that they know the Knights are going to go to, grab a vehicle, wait for the Knights to come on over, because some of them are still long dropping over, and get them, knowing they're going to be completely unlooted. Get a cheeky point.
I think you're committing a lot of resources to do that in time.
Yeah.
I see the...
Plus, they may not even actually come in the first place.
Yeah, I see the point of doing that, and again, points make prizes, and you want to try and pick up as many kills as possible, but when you commit to something like that, you commit a lot of resources, or lack of, should I say, because that takes time to set up, it takes communication. FaZe still are yet to even, we're 1 minute 30 into the game, they've yet to even pick up a gun yet. They're still driving to their normal spots. And
TSM, by the way, didn't even bother. Them. They've not even tried to get over to Milta. So they've sort of stuck around and almost, you know, shimmied G2 out of their sort of territory. The Knights are doing similar as well, actually. Drayden's still over this way and inside the circle. So big adjustments, I think, in game 1. We may see some low-looted teams. They're not doing their standard loot paths, so we may see them coming in under-equipped.
There might be a call as well from FaZe that they know Milt is open, so they can easily scout through it or scout it out and take that monkey compound, have a further deeper look into it, take the back compounds. There is options off of this one. You've only got one player up at Miller Power, which is going to be ENCE. So yeah, I think they'll be okay. It's certainly not going to do any damage or any harm. We'll see later on as we get into these engagements what kind of the gear they're going to be turning up to fights with. I'm just taking a quick look at this on the map. Miraku, a couple of warning shots from Pokemolodon. Does some damage as well, which is some good connections there, but they'll be able to go to the hills and more importantly feed that information back to NIP that Na'Vi, they have the 4-stack compound here and not to be challenging that main road.
Yeah, Sadovnik coming in support as well, so making sure that they have that required backup should they need it. Looks like Digital Athletics also, you can see Sixmo going to the compound over the river, making sure they have themselves a foothold to the northern side of Rozhok. Probably actually trying to play it split because the Georgia Pol River or Yasnaya River, whichever you prefer to call it, is pretty much centering across the circle right now. So it's going to cause a few teams to adjust. Team Liquid kind of deciding where they're going. There's Sixmo just sort of cruising around, making sure everything's safe, while the rest of the team to come on over. I wonder if they're going to even try a 2-2 either side of the river, maybe, Digital Athletics.
IP have actually committed to the next bridge along, the middle one, so they've got 2 players over and across now.
Liquid going for the south side, though. They're looking at the yellows, just south of Ruins.
It's a really hard circle to predict. I know, obviously, circles are all
I would say it's
unpredictable, but definitely weighted maybe
south
5 to 10% more in the south. NIP knew this was going to happen, so I'm really confused as to why they've decided to do this.
Yeah, like Miracle is literally being shot there,
and
they've just lost MBS driving past again on a bike.
Yeah, that's a really bad play from them, and they've also 2 players have now been damaged.
If they lose VOD as well, he's low. He's going towards DA as well.
I don't get the logic here, Lee.
No.
Meriku's just been over there and he's warning that they're here, and they're still coming back.
I understand if they want to take a fight early, but that's not a situation where you do take a fight early when they're in a compound like that, which has walls all the way around it, so you're never going to be able to get them. That is a great crate. Nuki's coming in. Let's see. Thank you very much. Winstrike will be happy.
Happy birthday, pal. That's a beautiful gift to be getting. Yeah, with NIP, I just don't get the logic. They made it across there, so why be... You know, they went across the opposing bridge, but then they swung back around.
And now they're getting shot at. Miraku's getting shot at by Digital Athletics as well now.
There was just no need in it. Anyway,
he didn't catch him. He didn't catch him. I thought it was the hit markers, but it's just the smoke. It's sort of long-range shots down to yellow there from Bestalot, the mini. Senpai also popping them down there. You can see the current standings. Some of these teams, just CrowCrowd, the only team to not hit triple digits, but TSM and ENCE starting to stretch their legs in the leads, and we're starting to see those gaps forming. You can already see it's a 26-point gap just between 3rd and 4th, and then you start dropping down, it falls away fairly sharpish. Some of these teams are going to have some big performances towards the tail end of this week and next week.
I believe Ibiza is actually in the same compound as... Nope, not in the same compound as Monkeys, just over to the right-hand side. I'm going to say I could see on the map they were extremely close, and it looks like Ibi's got the info as well. SLR's pointing him in his direction, so there's the warning shot. Go away. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. We don't want you near this.
TSM actually went down to Milter in the end. They took their sweet time to get down there, but they ended up in Milter.
Which you would have to assume that maybe where they initially dropped, the loot must have been terrible.
It must have just been terrible. Like, no. Yeah. They must have been. It must have been a call to stick around because they were inside the circle. And then they just said, "This is awful.
The only reason you would go this late back to a city, and again, it's a readjustment out towards the blue. You're putting more pressure. You're then going to run the gauntlet of maybe running into G2 or FaZe on rotation. The only reason you commit to that push is if you're very undergeared.
Yeah.
And then again, when you look at where they dropped, it's a very sparse environment. There's no city there. There's no major compounds.
FaZe Clan coming in the backside of Pachinki. Now, if you think of the game where they won it, actually, they went into the north side of Pachinki. I wonder if they're going to try and do a similar thing. The Jokers are on the hills outside Pachinki, so might take a couple of shots. Most of the other teams are kind of posted up now. You can see they're all fairly much sitting in position. TSM just rotating and going to join Gustav down the southeast side of the current circle. The Knights have done a similar thing. They're out on the far east of the circle, and G2 just coming out of the farm as well. So everybody's going to be inside the circle. The question is, where will it go? Will it be a north shift? If it's a north shift, it's going to cause a lot of problems because I would say about 70–75% of the teams have chosen to try and stick on the south.
The river in the middle acts as its own independent choke point as well. It also removes a good amount of land out of this because it separates them something chronic. So they'll be having difficulties. Raise Your Edge are actually pushing on to back of Red Diamonds now. Whether Winstrike get this information and get a read on it, they might want to get aggressive on them, but certainly we go centre.
It's still...
pull slightly away from that water, which is good. The Georgia Pole Bay, if you want to call it, that's out of the way, but you still get this river that goes through the middle and causes quite a lot of problems. I'd expect, again, we're in this kind of same scenario, Lee. We're about 65% down south, so...
TSM and Vitality are backing out of school.
Watch Rozhok. This is where you will probably get the Knights look towards M19 and Digital Athletics. It's one of those cities where it's pretty much centre, but also gives you access to both sides of the pond should it shift away.
I think Shadow's just coming to play pickup, right? Yeah, he's just coming to pick them up, getting out of there before TSM collect them. That's going to be 3 in a vehicle, going back to the poor man's Pachinki, which is the compound just over there. We've kind of been naming it that. We'll get in. There is 3 in that vehicle. Liquid are taking shots at them as well. They're going to get in safely, though. So Vitality okay for now, which is actually a decent compound considering the current circle.
He hit that.
And he got that. He confirmed it as well.
Ibi.
Where's that from?
That's still in the same compound. So he is pretty much, he must have 3 or 4 tapped him, confirmed it instant. That's a quick and rather unfortunate death.
Yeah.
That's a super hard shot to, you know, I mean, he has the line of sight on it, but still, he could have quite easily run around the corner, so he's banged him in the head and instantly just flushed him.
Look how congested it is in Pochinki. This is obviously FaZe in the north side. You got Jokers up in the church sort of area and just to the side, and G2 in the city as well. And this is deep south in the circle. They are betting on the fact that it's going to swing south. It's going to be a hard shift south because the river's edge. But that won't happen until Phase 4. It's a possibility that it could still go north still.
There's a third team also might turn up to this fight, and that's Erangel, who are just playing on the edge here. Same with Jokers as well. We might have 4 teams soon arriving into Pochinki, especially if the circle comes down south. FaZe have moved into that position of where you kind of touched on it. Actually, ironically, Jokers are there as well. They're in the same, on the back side of the church. FaZe on the north side of Pochinki. So it's almost a two-way battle, kind of what we saw last week.
Banking on some hard shifting, though, to bring it down this way. Fastrail's got this one lined up. Dimash has not got a clue.
I'll never guess what gun he's got.
There we go.
Late.
Yep, M24 working well for Fastrail as always. He can finish that.
I think he's round the door. I mean, you don't want to... Oh, they're actually pushing for it. Okay, this is good. This is aggressive. I like it. Here comes the support fire. They're putting the grenades in. They don't realize no one's in there. They are just being very preemptive about it. Kemba's been spotted.
And I was talking to the coach, you know, if you think back to the Vitality losing that 4v2 in the compound, just strolling in separately. And like they've said, you know, you've got to take every single building you ever go to. You've got to act like there's someone in it, someone in every corner. You've just got to sweep through those buildings.
I'm okay with that push. You might as well get aggressive on it. Oh, Chris,
yeah,
first.
He's caught Fuzz. He's going to get finished off. He's actually getting shot in the back. Now, Tab's got to be careful he doesn't get distracted too much, taking shots on G2 because Razor Edge are in that compound next to them. There goes FaZe, so FaZe will lose 1 early on once again. And now Chris might push further down this hillside, you know, to the rest of FaZe. Razor Edge going to rotate. They're pushing around, and they're going to back away from this one. Up into the hills. They should get out alive. Uber gets Chris down, so Chris went a little too far. Is he going to be able to peek over the brow of that hill and finish it off? Whoa, that's a northern shift. There we go.
All of a sudden, we just hear the arena.
And you saw on the map there just how many teams have guessed. I mean, we were talking about 75% of the teams were down that south side. Now they've got to go north, and those big choke points. There's 1, 2, 3 sort of main river points at the moment that are actually inside the circle. Expect people to take some pretty wide swings in the blue.
Uber went for the revenge frag. He did get the refrag, but he actually got confirmed by doing so. A little bit of an overzealous player there just to go for 1. I know you're going to be upset that Daddy FaZe is down, but the confirmation coming back, FaZe down to 50% already. Probably won't worth it in hindsight. Couple Magic and Fast Rail, the rest of them from Razor Edge. They're going to do exactly what a few of the teams have got ahead of them. Red Diamonds will do the same as they hit the blue and re-rotate. Samty's actually out there, so he'll be calling all this information through for Team Liquid. They've got 2 in the car as well. And they all kind of have the same idea here, Lee.
Pull up, hopped in the passenger seat.
Oh my.
That's cheeky.
I like it. I'm okay with it.
I mean, we've talked about it so often with you driving with the passengers and whether the meta will ever swing that way. And working out well for Team Liquid, but it is getting very congested out in the west. Navi kind of on the edge of the western circle, covering one of the bridges. Red Diamonds went deeper over Everest and over the other bridge, the Georgia Pole side. Razor Edge are going even deeper still over the full West Georgia Pole main bridge. Team Liquid actually looking to do a similar thing. Meanwhile, in the circle, TSM have sort of crept into the south side. You can see here with M19 in the distance. Digital Athletics and CrowCrowd pretty much over the river with M19 taking shots on them. There's Navi. They've got themselves their little bridge camp set up. We saw them here earlier on. They've just returned back to their same spot. Send you down.
This is where you have to read the map and read the circle and say, okay, where can we set up a choke point? Where can we maybe pick up some free points, to be honest with you? I'm intrigued to see what Razor Edge and Liquid do. Clearly, they have the information that fights are in front of them because they saw Red Diamonds rotating, so they'll know they've got ahead of the game. And you have to expect that there will be teams playing border control as you hit this northern edge of the circle. Other teams have the same values and same mindset of how you approach this one rather than... You can't blast through the middle, so you either have to take the west or the east.
All right. going to go out there and be bold. This is the game that CrowCrowd can win. They are in the prime compound, in that central spot. FaZe 4 is going to pull towards them. This is their moment. Can they do it?
I don't think they're aggressive enough, I'm sorry.
They don't need to be. They're in a compound. They could just sit there.
People will push on the prime spot that they have right now.
Can get pushed on the back of the hill, can't it?
You can, but also people will want to take it from them. They're in a... Oh, this ain't good.
No, and they're down low. They're down low, just off to the side. Digital Athletics, but they're getting smashed by M19 and Vitality at the moment, which is why they're smoking.
They have to play this one quite aggressive in the fact that they have to protect their territory.
TSM, they tried to cross the bridge, and the Troll said no. Wanderer catches them out. Rory and Gustav both downed. And there it is. There's the northern swing coming in. It's what we expected. We knew it was going to pull towards the northern side once it had gone that way. And now... As I say, ENCE are going to make sure they're not too greedy now because they're in a really wide spread at the moment in the circle.
James is down and dead out the back of the car. Liquid got off lightly, in my opinion. They did go through 2 fights that were ensuing between Na'Vi and Red Diamonds. They now are ahead of the game. NIP just to their north, Red Diamonds, Raise Your Edge. This is an absolute cluster of teams all trying and vying for the edge of the western circle.
Where's Liquid going to go? Well, Jazz are not going nowhere. 8C will collect that one for FaZe Clan. Get themselves a kill. Team Liquid centering up as much as they can. They're actually going to get in there as well. You know, they're going to find the ditch in the center. That is a bold move by them that may well pay off. They're going on to ENCE's shack. They've got to be careful. ENCE just down below that compound. Gemty, Ibi, Samty. I think they're going to get in safe. Squeak is in that really high edge position that McCoy was famous for the wrong reasons. But turned out to be an obviously fantastic player. TSM moving into the backside of Knights as well. So it's all going to get very, very crowded in this circle because there's not a lot of compounds to be had.
I'm glad we're stuck with Shadow because it's one thing that I wanted to touch on with FaZe, really. They took the kill onto Jazza, but by doing so it gives away the game and they now know where you are. Michael goes down. That's the 3rd player for TSM.
Yeah, Walker's getting shot as well.
Are literally holding on for dear life early in this game. ENCE might be able to catch him off guard here in the field. They've committed to the run just to get out of here and left him be.
The Knights have made a dash, so they've managed to back away. I'm surprised M19 have been able to just walk over this bridge fairly cleanly. There goes Michael.
That's a steal, right?
Yeah, that was Joker stealing that one away. They're actually taking a wide eastern swing. Wookie coming in out of the blue, trying to at least. You can see Kemba in the distance there. Probably going to have a pot shot at him as soon as he gets a little closer. Up in the north side of the circle, if there can have a northern side of the circle. Oh, Mexy's found Monkey. That's actually Monkey. So FaZe have actually swung all the way around the Rosok West Bridge. But yeah, they're going straight to Winstrike now. So I think that's going to be the end of FaZe. There's Tab.
That's what I mean. They didn't really clean them up. They let them continue onwards and just left him to it. Oh, Tab just killed himself. Yeah,
he was out in the blue, to be fair. I think he just said no. Harry Carey it is. Mexy goes down. Shadow. Recrent, Na'Vi. Oh, Red Diamonds and Na'Vi clashing on the far west side. That's Vitality going to be the first team down. As Winstrike look to try and third party what's going on this hill. NIP coming out as well. So Na'Vi and Red Diamonds clashing. NIP look for them to come in the background in a moment. As Bestalot goes off on Sadovnik, tries to catch out what he can. Meanwhile, G2 also getting picked apart, but here comes NIP from behind.
You want to get involved in this one, and why not? There's a fight kicking off. Interject yourself, see what you can clean up. Tapping through the smoke, gets the initial shot through a doozy. Will finish him up. Sadovnik hits the deck. Vard and Gaxi up top. Vard will probably need this one out and try and at least keep him alive for so long. The blue claims another one as FaZe Clan go down in 15. Pin holding on for dear life and asking for some support. The smokes are there. They have to be careful of Pokemolodoy though.
Hasn't got a nade, hasn't got the arm. Vard's trying to push on. That's a good nade. That's a nade coming from behind. He gets pinned out, sprays down a doozy. And suddenly Bestalok, who's just got the blue on his back and being pushed by NIP as the last man standing for them. Meanwhile, G2 getting eliminated down south. They will go. TSM fall 14th. A couple of the big boys all falling early here as Red Diamonds will get Na'Vi down. They go down in 13th. So we've got Vitality, FaZe Clan, TSM, Na'Vi, all gone already. Red Diamonds will follow. And just like that, there's a lot of points to be had for someone. Team Liquid, oh no, Raise Your Edge. They backed out of that compound and Team Liquid just charged in.
The biggest winner out of that fight's NIP. That's 2 teams completely gone. Oh, M19 got a very good angle here. Unfortunately, Ira sees one better. You've got to confirm this one. You've got to commit to it. Wanderer, nades, in we go. Cooked, clean, dropped, and it's actually stolen by his teammate. Well, that's fair play. In fact, it's not. Outplays.
Yeah, outplays Nick Tyro, but now he's caught elite player as well. This is what we're talking about, whether CrowCrowd will go aggressive. Winstrike over the river, and Kemba still sat there. He's got M19 dead to rights. He's actually outside the circle, just lighted him out. Enoch's going to go down. Still well outside the circle as he keeps on moving along the river edge. G2 also just with Udir. He's got a cross. He's getting caught lit up by Jorski and Nuki, so G2 probably going to fall in a second. And now we're already at 28 alive in Phase 5. That just shows how rough a circle this has been.
So CrowCrowd do have to keep control of this and make sure they're putting bullets down left, right, and center, which at the moment it's going well. G2's out, 10th position, raise your edge, and the Knights all the way in the north. This might be the next fight that does open up. The Knights, they want to obviously get inside the white and get inside the circle, but it depends. With Ibby and Jempty and Samty set up here in these buildings, they might have an eye line on that is downhill, so, and they do have the trees to play with, but still, with double SLR stacked up in the level 2s, if they've got the scopes, they might have the manpower to take them down.
M19, once again, Kemba's got his eye on them here. He is the last man standing for M19 as well, Wanderer. And Kemba might well go for this one. He's just took one down. He may well go for the second. Hits the dirt as quick as he can. Tries to toss a nade out. Oh, what's going to come? It's going to hit the rock. He should be safe from that one. You can see he just ducks inside. Second nade will come through. And now Wanderer's got a bit of tracer fire going across his face. That's Winstrike trying to get and confirm the kill. ENCE now making their move across towards the compound to the northeast of CrowCrowd. And that's what we're talking about, right? CrowCrowd, they've got to start getting aggressive in this position as the AWM finds set.
And that's what you do not want. And you have to make sure that Winstrike cannot be allowed to get close to this compound. It's the power compound at the moment, unless the circle shifts them away. Speaking of shifting, NIP have been preemptive of this one. They're already on the move. The compound, it stays in. CrowCrowd still in a power control, but they have to make sure that Winstrike do not get to the foot of these buildings. If they do, the grenades will come up, they'll over, they'll smoke it, they'll push it. A team like Winstrike, individually, they are fraggers. They are chaotic, they are damn good at this game, and they will take that compound from CrowCrowd if they want to.
Kemba gets M19 done and out. That gives another frag for him. Looking at the kill score, by the way, while Navi went out fairly early, they did get 5 kills before they went, so still a decent point score regardless. The Knights, they've been sitting quiet, haven't they, in the northern side, but they now have some need to move. Raise Your Edge also looking to pull into the backside of Team Liquid. You can see here CrowCrowd with Winstrike in the distance. Good shots landed, set. We've seen him going off with M24. We obviously got knocked because he's on the roof here, and he is up against one of those AWMs down low from Tixu. You see him selecting it now.
I don't know how good their gear is, but we have to remember they committed to this compound. They've been here pretty much all game, so
they do start in this sort of area, though, right? That's why I say this is the circle they have to win. When it comes to you, you've got to be in that position.
They've obviously, they won't have got any extra meds or anything like that, or any extra gear. So basically, what they have to live with and they have to deal with.
Fast Rail's off angle didn't work out for them. So now Raise Your Edge down to 2. Cup of Magic comes a little close. Winstrike and CrowCrowd continuing to trade blows back and forward on the hillside down south. Samty looking to try and cook something up here for Raise Your Edge. Now ENCE trying to move, and the Knights are lighting them up as, oh, Fast Rail actually stolen away by VARD. NIP getting involved in that. They get wanted, they get Cup of Magic. And well, NIP still 2 of the kills from Team Liquid there.
They readjusted out the compound. They went down south faster than any other team on the outskirts here, and they managed to get an off angle and steal a couple of kills from that engagement. Liquid do not lose anybody.
Oh,
Looks like Squeaky's having a laugh over here, though, with the nades. He
gets 1 down, 2 down. Rustamar trying to get Drayden. Yeah, Drayden's going to fall as well, and that's it. The Knights are gone. They didn't have a chance there. ENCE, Caxi steals another. NIP on a kill-stealing mission. They have the entire western edge of the circle to themselves. Looks like Team Liquid are going to push them. This is what I was talking about with this compound. The weakness is this back part. Now, Set just spotted them. He saw them coming, so they've been known early enough. Have they got the nades to follow it up? You can see Outplays has got nothing nade-wise. Have they got the nades to try and keep them at bay? Because Winstrike surely do, as they toss them onto the roof.
I don't have the information where they are, but it feels like CrowCrowd are still just wandering around, and I don't know why Magister's over here. He knows where the enemy team is. Get stuck in with your boys. Go defend your compound. Look over the edge. You don't have an angle in this position. I mean, okay, if he might be doing a job of watching the back lines if anybody wants to approach and encroach on them. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. He needs to be up with the rest of the team, slamming down. They have the height advantage.
Now that compound that he's in, he is the only one that will be inside the zone. And here we go. Set gets smashed. Headshot comes in, and Winstrike basically on the back wall now. So everybody's breached these buildings a million times over. ENCE want to get the third party on as well. Winstrike may have to dodge some of the bullets from their fellow Finns from behind as they look to try and move on the compound.
If they wanted to keep control of this and win this, they needed to stop Winstrike making any advancement. He's hiding behind the door. There's one, there's two. That's some big, big damage. Now all of a sudden they have the man advantage.
Oh, Dream for You tried to get the confirmed play. He tried to go around the side and got quickly flushed down.
Up and over.
Outplays is going for it. He's got Jorski down, comes around the side, and they will take Winstrike down. CrowCrowd, but are ENCE going to let that happen? They've got 3 still up. 1 knocked, of course, Dream for You, but he will get back on his feet, and they're going to be safe. And now we're down to the final 4.
Good players up and over, round the back, and just smashes them when they least expect it. They lose 1 man in that engagement, but they pick up 4 points and a placement as well. So it's nice work, but remember, they'll now be the last ones coming out of that compound. Saying that, there is a compound part of that still inside the circle. But again, it's one of those areas where the centre's a bit of a no man's land. You've got all these trees that go up the side of the hillside that you can work with, and the rocks. You can use the cover and the terrain to your advantage. But generally, when you've got ENCE at one side and NIP at the other, you're kind of in a bit of a funnel here.
Yeah, this is a nasty ditch to try and work through. You can see ENCE kind of down low. They have a good angle, honestly, ENCE do, but again, they're all playing trees and rocks, as you mentioned. ENCE actually all very much clustered together behind the same set of trees. Squeaky's trying to be the difference, who's just found himself a crate, so I don't really know what he just pulled out of that. As you can see, certainly doing very well. One of the highest average kill scores on Squeaky. 1.5 kills per game, guaranteed. He's already had his 2 in this game, so he's already managed to confirm and keep that going.
I like what he's done as well with, I think I did cop for his POV. He's packed a car next to the crate, so he's built himself a little bit of cover. So he can play with that, he can use it and abuse it, honestly, because of where he is perpendicular to Liquid. He can hold them at gunpoint and keep them back into that area. It might be ENCE's play here to try and force Liquid into an engagement with NIP, and now that circle's coming.
Yeah.
That might actually happen. NIP might have to go head-to-head, first of all, with Liquid. ENCE might get lucky out of this one. All the teams might batter one another and just leave them, pick them up.
They are down low, so everybody's kind of looking at them. Like, especially Team Liquid and NIP. If you looked at the... We can see, obviously, on the minimap where they're all looking. Actually, saying that, Team Liquid have all turned their attention to NIP now, so maybe I'll go that way. NIP are kind of turning their attention to CrowCrowd, knowing full well CrowCrowd have to pull out of here. Not a great deal. Look at that. It's flat ground in front of them. This might be the time that they fall. And as you mentioned, ENCE is sitting pretty. They've got this ditch. They've got this little bit of defilade blocking them from CrowCrowd, so no worries from the left side. They just need to look at Team Liquid. That's all they're focusing on right now.
Squeak is in such a great position here. He's got all the cover in the world, provided he doesn't get overzealous and get knocked, because if he gets knocked, Liquid will just ram raid that position he's in. And then try and move up on ENCE. CrowCrowd have got to now make something happen.
Blues on their backs. They've got to get going. Magister goes down. There's VOD, finds one. They're going to have to push straight into the grinder effectively. Jempty's trying to make the move. Squeakies wants to confirm this one as quickly as he can. Will manage to get him down. Rustamar actually is the one that got it, but Squeaky will confirm. Goes for the smoke spray. Gaxi getting caught out as well. Team Liquid now pushing on him. It's a full triumvirate. Everybody fighting one another, and Team Liquid just dropped at a dime. The Dream for You gets himself the perfect spray.
And now, while this is going down, everyone can just flood across ENCE. They get the call. It's time to go. They've still got the split. Squeaky at the top, 3 on the left-hand side, and they can just crush them.
Yeah, he was trying to get Magister. He thought about trying to get Magister up, but they do have this little ditch. Outplays has got to go huge as he comes over the brow. Gets one down. Rustamar drop, but he will fall, and it leaves Dream for You to go huge. And a 1v3. Squeaky's flank here is going to pay dividends. Dream for You not going to be expecting it. He's just going to rush the hell. That's not the play to do. He's just going to get caught out. It will be